Good morning, students. I hope you all are fine. Welcome to your history class after a break. Today we are going to start our chapter 4, that is expansion of the British rule. In this chapter, we will discuss about trade wars in India, advent of English East India Company, advent means arrival, battle of Plassey and Buxar, policies of British expansion and dual government. So our first topic is the Portuguese, the Dutch, the French and the British. Let's start from the Portuguese. Vasco da Gama, the Portuguese trader, reached the Malabar coast in South India. Cochin, Goa, Daman and Diu were some of the places where they established their companies or settlements. The Portuguese conquered means taken or controlled Diu in 1509 CE and Goa in 1510 CE. Due to their superior armed ships, navigational skills, disciplined soldiers, and able administrators, the Portuguese were able to establish their companies. Next, the Dutch. The Dutch was set up at Surat, Ahmedabad, and Bharuch. They were interested in trade with the Indonesian island or Spice Islands. They were engaged in a profitable spice trade with the countries of the East. Next, the French. The early French settlements included Pondicherry, Chandranagar, Mahe. The first French factory was established at Surat. Last, the British. The English East India Company was formed in 1600 as a joint stock company by a group of merchants. The English set up their first factory at Surat in 1612. Sir Thomas Roy visited the court of Jahangir and obtained trade concession, means a low business for the company. The Mughals granted them trading rights, but they were not allowed to arm or fortify their factories, means to force or surround their factories. The English also established trading centers at Madras, Bombay, and Fort William in Calcutta. They established business concessions or connections with Jagat Seth, who was the banker of the Nawab of Bengal. After 1757, English East India Company was politically active, wherein they were required to take care of the administration, but they failed in doing so. Instead of looking after administration, the company officials used their power to make gains from personal trade and pushing the company toward bankruptcy, means failure. Anglo-French rivalry. Anglo means Britain and French France. Rivalry means competition, friction or conflict. In 18th century, three wars were fought between the French and the British for control over the coastal area of present-day Tamil Nadu, known at that time as Carnatic. These wars are also called Carnatic Wars. Carnatic Wars means military conflict. First Carnatic War, 1744 to 1748, was fought when the French, led by Governor Dupleix, captured Madras, which was a British possession. Possession means control or in the hands of British. Second Carnatic War, 1748 to 1754. The Second Carnatic War was fought over the issue of successor to the throne of Hyderabad, because both British and French supporting opposing candidates. Third Carnatic War, that was between 1756 to 1763. The Third Carnatic War was fought in 1763. The 7 Years' War in Europe rekindled. Rekindled means relight the Anglo-French hostility in India. The French were defeated at the Battle of Vandivash in 1760. After the end of the war in Europe, the British returned Pondicherry and Chandranagar to French. However, except for these pockets, the French power in India was almost failed. Expansion of British power in India. By 19th century, a large part of India was under the control of the English East India Company. It began with the Battle of Plassey in Bengal and ended with the revolt of 1857. Conquest of Bengal. Bengal was the first state to be occupied or controlled by the British in 1764. After the death of Aurangzeb, the Mughal Empire became weak. Nawab Siraj-ud-Daulah challenged British activities like non-payment of custom duties in Bengal. Siraj-ud-Daulah was suspicious of English activities from very beginning. Defying their orders, defying means refuse or resist their orders, the English fortified. Fortified means surrounded their settlements in Calcutta in 1756. Siraj objected to it and ordered military action against the British. Next, Battle of Plassey. The Battle of Plassey is an important landmark in the history of India. On 23rd June 1757, the armies of Siraj-ud-Daulah and the English East India Company met at Murshidabad, the capital of undivided Bengal at that time. British forces were led by Robert Clive and Mir Jafar, commander-in-chief of Nawab Siraj-ud-Daulah's army. Mir Jafar destroyed the Nawab and supported Clive. As a consequence of this, Siraj-ud-Daulah lost the battle and was captured and killed. Mir Jafar was rewarded and was made the Nawab of Bengal. Battle of Buxar. Mir Qasim was initially very generous and friendly with the British, but after a few years he refused to accept their control. The hostility between the British and Mir Qasim. Hostility means unfriendliness. Increased and British declared a war. Mir Qasim lost the war and fled to Awadh. Support from Shuja-ud-Daulah, Nawab of Awadh and Shah Alam II, the then Mughal emperor. The combined forces of these three fought with the British army in Buxar but were defeated. Dual government. Bengal, Bihar and Orissa paid their revenues, means taxes, to the English East India Company according to the Diwani rights granted to them by the Mughal king Shah Alam. The English East India Company was faced with the problem of how and from whom to collect taxes. They carried on the administration with the help of the Nawab's officials. This was called dual government, means double government. Under this system, the administration of the kingdom was in the hands of the Nawab, but the control of the revenue, means taxes, was in the hands of the company. This meant that there was two rulers at the same time. The English East India Company controlled the revenues, means taxes, collected from the kingdom. The Nawab had no control over the finances of his empire, as the English were not ready to share the revenues with the Nawab. Other battles. The other battles which enabled the English East India Company to establish a solid foundation in India were Anglo-Maratha Wars, Anglo-Mysore Wars, and Anglo-Sikh Wars. Anglo-Maratha Wars. After the defeat at Panipat in 1761, the Marathas found it difficult to recover their past glory. By 1772, the Marathas were divided into five different centers of power: the Peshwas, the Gaikwad, the Bhonsles, Sindhya, and Holkar. Three Anglo-Maratha wars were fought between 1775 and 1818, and through each war the British kept gaining a bigger foothold in Maratha territory. Anglo-Mysore Wars. Mysore was a rising power in the south under Hyder Ali. Hyder Ali's growing power created jealousies among the other aspiring Deccan powers, like the Nizams and the Marathas. As the British attacked the port of Mahe in Mysore, which was under French control, Hyder Ali fought the Second Anglo-Mysore War, which lasted from 1780 to 1784, but he died in 1782. Hyder Ali was succeeded by his son Tipu Sultan, who continued the war until 1799. Tipu Sultan introduced many reforms. He was well read and his personal library had a fine collection of books on various subjects. He trained his army in Western style of combat and tried to form a navy on similar lines. Anglo-Sikh Wars. The Sikhs resisted against the British under Maharaja Ranjit Singh. However, after his death in 1839, the British Governor-General Lord Ellenborough and his successor Sir Hardinge felt the need to control the Khalsa, which they felt had grown too powerful. In the Second Anglo-Sikh Wars in 1848, Lord Dalhousie attacked the Sikhs, who lost heavily and had to surrender in March 1849. Punjab was annexed, means controlled, to the British territory and came to be known as the North-West Frontier Province of India. Subsidiary alliance. Alliance means union or relationship. It was introduced by Lord Wellesley. According to this, Indian rulers were not allowed to have their independent forces. They were to be protected by the company and had to pay for the subsidiary forces. Under this agreement, the Indian kingdoms would have to maintain a certain number of British troops, means soldiers. There would be a British resident posted in the Indian courts. The king could not approach any foreigner without the permission of the British resident in the court. Doctrine of Lapse. It was introduced by Lord Dalhousie. According to this, a kingdom could be annexed, means controlled, if the king died without a male heir. In other words, if the king did not have any natural born heir, then the kingdom would lapse to the British or would be administrated and occupied by the British. Direct annexation. Annexation means takeover or control. So, annexation of Awadh. By the first half of the 19th century, the English East India Company became political masters of the subcontinent. Some of the other factors which helped them are disunity among the Indian rulers ensured their downfall in the background of the British policies of divide and rule. Britain was already a strong industrial power, owing to the Industrial Revolution. The British used India as a market for their factory-made goods, destroying the traditional Indian economy. This, in turn, helped them establish political domination. So this was the last topic of our chapter. I hope this video helped you to understand the concept in a better way. Thank you.